Charles Camille Samson was born in Paris in 1835. He is one of the most eminent composers of France living today and excels in nearly every branch of the musical art. An amusing incident of the composer is related. A child of 5 heard a lame man's footsteps in the next room. "Listen," he said, "that man walks in dotted 8 notes." The child was Samson, and the story gives some idea of how he has lived and breathed music from his earliest years. Of all the composer's operas, the only one thoroughly well known to the American public is Samson and Delilah. Its first performance was given at Weimar in 1877. It is termed a biblical opera, for it is rather too dramatic for a true type of oratorio. The libretto of Samson and Delilah closely follows the story of Samson in the scriptures and is familiar to all. In the first act, Samson comforts the Israelites by predicting victory over the Philistines. He sings a triumphant song which inspires the Hebrews. Delilah enters, and as she sings and dances for him, he succumbs to her charms. Act 2 shows us Delilah's house. She is waiting for Samson. The high priest enters and persuades her to turn Samson over to the Philistines, and she swears to do so. Samson finally enters after the departure of the high priest and follows Delilah into her room. She lulls him to sleep, then cuts off his hair, which is the secret of his strength. Finally, she calls the Philistines to overpower and blind him. In the next act, we see Samson in prison, and he is dragged out by the Philistines. The scene then changes to the temple of Dagon. The high priest orders Samson to sing in glory of Delilah. He prays for the return of his strength, while his enemies laugh and jeer at him. The festival begins. Samson prays again, and with a portion of his former strength regained, rends asunder the marble pillars of the temple and dies with the Philistines in the ruins. The aria given on this record is sung in the first act by Delilah. She enters with a number of the priestesses of Dagon. The young girls begin to dance, waving garlands of flowers, trying to entice the warriors who, with Samson, are watching them. The latter tries hard to avoid Delilah's glances, but in vain. In spite of himself, his eyes follow the movements of the enchantress as she takes part in the voluptuous poses and gestures of the young Philistine maidens. It is during this dance that she sings this melody, "Spring Voices Are Singing," in which she describes the coming of spring to bring bright hopes of the future and make all hearts glad. Eleonora de Cisneros, during the season of 1913 and 14, appeared with the Philadelphia-Chicago Opera Company, one of its leading artists. She has sung in nearly every quarter of the globe and is equally as great a favorite in South America or in far-off Australia as she is in the United States. She is a native of this country and made her debut at the New York Metropolitan Opera House before having had any foreign experience.